Welcome, everybody, to the Between Two Wheels podcast, episode 430, and a delight. Finally, we are going to have bike racing in the U.S., in Northern California, at least. And we're going to talk about it today, the Chowchilla Crit. We've got some people to help me along the way here. One of them looks like he just crapped out, John Novikoff. John, see if you could join us again. Chris Flower, how you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing good. Looks like we got John back.
John's here. Got he's a little spotty on his stream. Oh, there we go. Welcome, guys. So we already got people coming in the comments. We're going to talk about the Chowchilla Crit. Mark Tucker, he says it's on fire. Why did we not bring Mark Tucker in? Why? Because we
I think he's prepping to put on a race, isn't he? He's probably a little occupied.
Right, Mark. If you do need to join us, maybe we'll throw you in here a little bit later. John Novikoff, how you doing?
I'm good. I feel great. Yeah, weather's been awesome. Bike rides. Let's race.
I agree. Chris, you're not racing, I take it?
I'm not racing, but I started riding my bike again, so that's a plus.
That is a plus. Mark Tucker says, just let me know. Okay, so maybe I'll send you a link for this, Mark, and we'll throw you in. You can talk a little bit about the race. But before we get there, why don't, Chris, maybe you can help us go through a few things, which is, first of all, paris-roubaix. What's the update? Do you know anything about it?
I think it's postponed until October, right? Because France is on super special lockdown, and I don't think there's really a way to have the race and not include some part in France. So from what I read, the promoters offered to skip a few of the cobbled sectors to try and make it happen, but stars didn't align, and looks like it'll be a fall classic this year. I think that was the goal last year, and they ended up having to cancel. So hopefully that doesn't happen this year again.
Right. Yeah. John, do you have any additional input on
diddle?
Paris-Roubaix? A diddle?
Hit my diddle on Roubaix. No, I mean, bummer, obviously. We always look forward to that classic. It's, its heritage runs deep. But, if they're going to move it to October, it seems like we'll have all of our bike racing between August and October this year. So.
Right. Did either one of you guys see the Dwarves race this week?
I caught about the last 5 to 8 kilometers of it, which was probably the least exciting bit.
Okay. Well, Dylan Van Barl stayed away. Matthew Van Der Poel had a little bit of a, explosion or crack. So cup coming for Flanders. We're not going to go over this much because we're going to mostly do a Chowchilla, but Flanders is coming up. Ned. And Van Der Poel, what do you think his opportunities are there?
Tough to say. I mean, he's never really ridden himself into the ground as much as he has this year, because he hit the late races in the fall. He did a full cross season, and he's come out swinging in all the early European races. So he may be kind of running out of steam, or he's just realized he was running a little hot and kind of tapered off at the end of Dwarves. I don't know. It seems like he's got the pedigree and the ability to just turn it on when he needs to. So it'd be silly to count him out.
Yeah, that's true. John, do you have a prediction for the Flanders race Sunday?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, based on the start list, and yeah, I'll echo what Chris was talking about with Van Der Poel. I mean, I've seen him just run himself down to the ground like he's talking about. I mean, I haven't seen that kind of effort from the pro peloton on a breakaway in a long time, and it was just great to see that just implosion that he had at the end. So, yeah, he might be tired, man. He might have some tired legs. Might start to feel that full cyclocross season like Chris was talking about. But I don't know. It's up in the air.
Yeah,
I think he said he's going to shut it down, I think, after Flanders to try and get a little recovery and then start doing the mountain bike racing to prep for Tokyo. So he's still got that on his radar, which is good.
And what I also found out was Stibar is not going to do it because he's having a heart procedure. I'm not a heart doctor.
Did you share any of your insights with him on that, with your experience?
Yeah, I sent him over to Dave Cowles because they're the same team. And no, I didn't have any of that. So, but I'm sure he has a fine doctor.
Yeah, Chris, the heart's actually located up here in the chest. I don't know what he had worked on.
Hey, so you've seen the enhancements. Thank you, John, for pointing that out. Okay, so look, UCI stuff. We'll talk about it. We don't need to go into that. We can. I sent Mark
before you transition away, who's your pick for Flanders? You can't set it up and not offer your own.
Right.
It's going to come down to Wout and Julian Alaphilippe.
You don't think Sagan's going to be in there? He's running with a little extra passion after his DS that he might not bring him back on next year. So
I saw that.
I think Wout's got a good shot. He played it smart by resting midweek, not doing Dwarf, so he'll be my pick. Yeah, we'll see.
And he learned a little bit from the 2 races that he did. Geez, I wouldn't remember the Saxo Bank one. Was that the one?
E3, yeah.
Yeah, and then what? I can't even remember what just happened last week. That's how old I'm getting. What was the other race?
Wevelgem.
There you go. Wevelgem. I think he made a difference there as far as like chasing and using his team much better on Wevelgem than he did E3, where he was just kind of stupid and attacking. So I'm pulling for him, but I mean, there's so many other people that could come down to, but hopefully not Decoyna. Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
All right. What about Chowchilla? Look, it's been last race I did was the Folsom Crit. I think that was February. I mean, we're going to do Land Park soon thereafter, and did Folsom up here in Northern California. We had done it was Cal Aggie, and I think that we were planning to do Bariani and some of these others. Everyone knows what happened. We got canceled out. Now we're starting to do some racing again, I hope. And we've got this race coming up here, Chowchilla. Velo Kings is putting it on. Let me just throw a little thing out here. So you're going to need your license, right? I had stopped the auto renew, and I had made some comments about it. I think USA Cycling is doing me dirty, because I renewed my license. I registered for the race, and then the app, it keeps showing that it's expired. It's not a valid, and I have the receipt. So I've been calling them all week, and I just thought I would give an indication here. This is what it's like trying to get in touch with USA Cycling.
Thank you for calling USA Cycling. To reach the department, please make a selection from the following prompts.
Number 1 is
for USA
membership.
Cycling membership, press 1.
There we go.
For
telephone number 719-434-4202. Can't take your call now.
That is live.
At the tone.
Yeah, so I'm just giving you an idea. I knew it was safe to call because they absolutely do not answer. I've tried every single thing. I've left messages. I've sent multiple emails.
Hey, Tyler, time out. This is 100% your fault, man. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yeah, absolutely. Like I understand where you're coming from as far as not signing up for auto renewal and it happening, but from a convenience standpoint. But you're trying to go back and forth with a technically challenged organization that has difficult time doing even communication. So why would you think any of what you were doing is going to go smoothly?
You're right. As Chris said, maybe you give them a benefit of the doubt because it's COVID and whatnot. But I think they're just a shitty organization. Any comments about that? Look, actually, I shouldn't say that. There was a nice lady, a regional rep down in Southern California, sent me an email totally separate. She saw I'd registered, and she's like, "Oh, there's a problem. You need to get your license." So I emailed her. She's taking care of me. I'm still not fixed as far as the app shows, but she promised me. I'm going to be good. She's going to be at the race. So I appreciate that. Richard Grable said he can help. Thank you. I think I'm okay, but I will show up tomorrow at the race, and if I need some help, I will. Mark Tucker said he clicked on the link. Mark, are you not able to get in? I'm just waiting for you to join us here. Questionable silence. Okay, let's talk about the race here. We have, go to the Chowchilla Crit.
Well, what are some of the nicknames we've heard about Chowchilla? I've heard Chow and the Chill, Chow with the Chill, Kill It in Chow, or Thrill It in Chowchilla. What else is out there?
I don't have any indication as to any of that. I don't do nicknames, John.
Oh, okay.
Boat captain.
Right.
Okay. He said, send me the link again. Now irregulated back to Cat 5. That might have been. I was using the wrong app to begin with, and it still said I was.
Oh yeah.
Mark, I did register. I did renew it on the Chow Down. Here you go. Chow Down, Throw Down. That's what he's saying. Yeah. I guess he's having some problems. So let's take a look. I will add this over here, and maybe you guys can at least walk through the race itself. Have either one of you taking a look at the actual course itself or the events?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple YouTube videos out there to kind of get a preview of it. So it's looks like a great course. A few left and right turns right after the start finish, but pretty wide open with a soft roller to the right for the finish. It looks like a long drag.
All right, so we have starting in the morning at women's Cat 3, Cat 4, 5 at 8:50 is the 4, 5, 35. They're doing a lot of combo. The women's Pro 1, 2, 3 is early at 9:40. Then we start having the Masters 35, 45 combos, the 3, 4s, and then the 1, 2, 3s at 11:40. That's the one we're doing. Then some junior races, Cat 3, 4s, Cat 2, 3s, 50, 60, Cat 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why they don't put a 5 in there, just for shits and giggles. And then the Pro 1, 2, 3 race at 4:30. Okay. First of all, do you want to talk about any of these other ones? I thought we'd go at least through here's the course.
Well, I think one thing to note, if you go back to that prior screen, is the field sizes are awesome all across the board. I think it's going to be a great day for racing. It's good to see.
So are you talking about the field size there? You're talking about what's actually been registered?
What's been registered. So if you go to the pre-reg or who's registered list, not the race predictor.
Oh, we got Mark Tucker in. Maybe give an actual breakdown of this. So Mark, thank you for joining us. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you as well. Okay. So you've got this race coming on. We're here to kind of let you talk about it, and then we're going to mock you as you do so, and then tell you how you're wrong. But why don't you give us can you see up on the screen here? We'll put this up here. Can you see why don't you give us a little understanding of this crit course, where it's at? Is it downtown? Is it out in the middle of nowhere? And I know there's some videos out there. So walk us through this criterium.
Yeah, no problem. So it's in Chowchilla. So that in and of itself is in the middle of nowhere, I guess. But it's behind the Save Mart shopping center on Robertson Boulevard and Highway 99. There will be a bike reg email going out with a link to that address. It's behind that. It's just to the east of Highway 99. It's for those that have raced the Madera stage race. It's the same crit course that Velo Promo had used for that. And so that's the location of the event. And as far as the course goes, I set the KOM in my Lexus the other day and then flagged myself, but it's clockwise on the screen there. And so your little red dot's kind of the start finish line. So it's a right-hander kind of a chicane, and then another kind of chicane. And then there's usually a pretty good headwind on that kind of long straightaway on the backside there. And then it turns into a really long, really wide open straightaway. It's a housing development that never got developed. So there's streets, there's curb, gutter, and sidewalk. And the only thing they've built is tumbleweed so far. So.
All right. So
how technical are those chicanes? Is it something that you're pedaling through, or is it kind of like Cal Aggie type chicanes, or what are those like?
It's probably more open than those.
Okay.
I mean, the finishing straightaway is, it's probably the equivalent of 7 or 8 lanes wide. So you can set up really wide into turn one, and the roads are fairly wide. So if memory serves, I raced it in 2019, right before COVID shut down, as part of the Madera stage race. And I think we're able to pedal through all the corners at speed.
I'm sure someone will at least try.
Go. Yeah, there's 75 people in the 4-5 field. So grab some popcorn for that one.
I saw some people posting that. Okay, so why don't we look at the registration? So reg is closed online, right?
Yeah, we will have day of reg, and we will have a USAC employee present to resolve any still outstanding unresolved licensing issues. The struggle is real. We've all experienced it. my go-to person went on PTO, so I've been giving people her direct line, and apparently she's been on PTO since Wednesday. But Richard, co-founder, teammate of Velo Kings, and race director, has been doing a lot of outreach to racers that have had license issues and gotten the majority of those resolved. But yeah, if you're not registered, show up and register, and get your license issue resolved on site as well.
Okay, yeah, and I just done a little thing where I actually just called USA Cycling and it
I
puts
saw
you
this,
into it. And but I was Trish Black, Southern Regional Events. I think she's going to be at the race. She had actually reached out to me. I reached back to her this morning. She said I'm good to go. So I really appreciate that on her side. So maybe she's the one that you're going to have down there. I think
she is.
Race.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Okay, awesome. That's good to hear. Let's look at the fields here. So maybe we just start with some of these other races here. Let's see if we show who's registered. This doesn't show how many is registered.
Who's registered thing. Up. There you go.
Yeah, easy.
Let Tyler
Look at my wife.
Hey.
Okay, 1 entry on the women's Cat 3. That's leaned a little bit more there. Women's Cat 4 novice, 14 entries. 56 for the Cat 4. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. And I'm sure you're going to get some day ofs.
Well, it's actually
raced together, right?
Yeah, it's combined but scored separate. And so
these are gotcha. 83 entries. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so we have a waiting list on those. There's a field limit of 75. We had a field limit of 100 in collaboration and in the spirit of partnership with USA Cycling. They had initially suggested we do field sizes of 50. And we said, well, we'll drop it to 75 and kind of see how that goes. And so that's where we're at with that. So that's the only field currently that is full.
Let me ask you this. Why were they requesting 50? Was that a COVID issue or was that simply just kind of a rage issue of not having raced for a year?
More, I think, optics from a COVID standpoint. This is the first USA Cycling sanctioned race in, let's stop and read this comment because I like that one there. No.
Oops. Here, let me see if I get
so
there you go.
As you pull out, so optics wise, it just made sense to try to yield to their suggestions with things like COVID protocol, as well as field sizes. So we felt like 75 was enough of a consideration. 50 was a little bit overly protective, if that's the word. So that's where we went with it.
All right. So Jason Graffath says, seriously appreciate Mark and Velo Kings for all the work and making this happen. You guys are giving Velo Promo a serious run for their money. Is that true?
We are not.
Are you handing out shirts?
Yeah. This is our shirt game is a little bit better. Sorry, Robert, if you're on dial-up listening to this. But our goal is to race bikes, not to be race promoters. So firsthand experiences, it's much more fun to show up and compete in a race than it is to organize one. And there's Richard's comment, race director comment. All Cat 5 fields have a hard limit of 75. So we like Velo Promo. We want this to be the first of events that get racers excited about racing again. Give them an excuse to all buy licenses. So that's one less obstacle when Velo Promo and Sky Express and anyone else that wants to promote races can do theirs.
Yeah, you're a bit of a test case in that regard. Before we go on to what are the COVID protocols that everyone needs to be concerned about or to follow at the race?
It's kind of the Home Depot protocols. I mean, it's wear a mask, social distance, stand on the masking tape. It'll be laid out in more detail in the email that will come out through Bike Reg. We're discouraging people from gathering with non-family members and discouraging spectators. And hand sanitize, wear a mask when you're not racing, just kind of basic stuff. Madera County just moved into the red zone out of the purple, and life is kind of returning to normal here. I know in other Northern California counties, they're still kind of on more hunker down mode, but we're kind of moving back into normalcy here.
All right. Why don't we take a look back? You guys have any comments about that, Chris or John?
So I guess with social distancing, does that mean the podium's going to be 3 people, or will it be the typical 5 to 7?
Podium will be 3 deep. They will be spaced. We're using the Hammer Nutrition. They're a partner with us to provide some giveaways. And so we'll have podiums, but we're only going to do podiums 3, and we'll make sure they're at least 6 feet apart. Take your mask off for your picture, put it back on. Just trying to go with the flow.
Who's handing up whatever, the flowers or the medals or the lucrative big check? Is it, you have a robot, your dog,
I got like
woman,
a 6-foot scooter stick that I'm going to just kind of hand. We have really cool medals. I would show them to you, but I dropped them off at Richard's, who's out. Actually, he's on the race course right now, probably testing out the bathrooms that have been delivered.
Wow.
But so we have prizes for top 3 provided by Hammer, as well as medals for top 3, and then in the pro categories, equal pay, equal time for the men's and women's.
Jason Graffath says another reason not to podium, we can't hold hands. I don't know what events you've been doing, Jason, but okay, sorry.
Hey, from a COVID perspective, the precautionary side of things, I just recently did a mountain bike race. I didn't have to fly to Florida to race. Unfortunately, that would have been great. And so you've been dealing with that, but just here in Norcal, being able to race for the first time, even though it was on dirt, they had the whole, let's not have spectators, let's not gather. And it all seemed to run pretty smoothly. People were still gathering. We were all hanging out at the start. I mean, it is what it is, but,
Right.
And the podiums were spread out. But other than that, I think it ran pretty smooth. I don't think we'll see any hiccups. I would assume.
I would just say if there's any spectators, it's maybe twice as much as we'd normally get. So what we're just looking to go out and compete, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we do, like I said, we appreciate that. Okay, so let's continue taking a look here at the registrations. You do have some junior fields, which I appreciate because I know some of the races we've. I don't want to name any names, but just logistics about are you able to even have them? So what's the junior entry? Actually, I mean, I'm looking at here 25 for the men and women, but there's a lot of combined. Are you seeing where they're coming from at all?
All over. We partner locally, kind of informally with Team Swift out of Santa Rosa. They've got a few junior riders here. We've kind of mentored them. We do Wednesday night kind of practice race stuff with them. We've taken a few of them to Florida with us for actual sanctioned races. But really from, I think being in Central, like it doesn't seem like it's too big of a haul for Southern California.
Yeah.
Motivated people to come. I think we have over 50 juniors registered. And those are all free. We did free juniors race free as many categories as they want.
Wow.
And so we got good turnout there. So yeah, we're not trying to quit our day jobs doing this. So we're trying to give back where we can.
All right. So why did you decide to double up the masters, the 45s and the 35s?
To get, I think initially it was partly unsure of what kind of field sizes we would have. We like to have good field sizes when we're racing. Obviously we've got good field sizes because there's 50 some entries. I can't quite see your screen on this format, but it's okay. And now that's a little better.
So 23 on the 35s, 35 on the 45s.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have a problem with the combining up. I'm doing 2 races at once, kind of the both. So no.
Yeah, I mean we had a limited window, and then to try to include junior races, we had to get creative, and we've got the logistics in place where it's not terribly hard to combine but score separate. So that was kind of the logic there. We don't want to make it a super long day, but it's going to be. So
right.
Can we register for both, Mark, and see where it shakes out?
Yeah, you just tear whichever number off, and then you have the other one underneath it. Yeah, we'll collect your money. Yeah, you can do that.
Right.
$50 day of. You can register 5 times for one if you want. So
yikes. Yeah.
But yeah, the number sequence, you'll be able to see numbers pinned on right side, but we'll have a different sequence of numbers for 35 plus versus 45 plus. I'm in the 45 this year, last year too. But
so why don't we walk through because some of the fun part here is also going and looking at the race predictor, and then walking through some of this. Yeah. And so you can do that as well. Let's show this up here. You guys have a preference on which race you want to look at first? You want to do the the 35, 45s. You want to do junior? I don't know some of these, novice and junior men's and women's so much. Let's take a look at the women's pro 1-2. Did we get? So we have 9 entrants
So
in there.
how accurate are these going to be if really very few people have raced in a year?
Well,
Not.
They're based on rolling points, but it just seems like a total wag, really.
I feel like there's a lot of confidence behind the 45 1-2-3 race predictor. That's the only one that I really feel
All right,
comfortable with.
Why don't we
I
just
don't know
start there?
They might maybe they got the top 3 correct, but just not the right order.
Look,
Hey, I'm in good company though. We're in good company, John. Either way.
let's start out here. So Jerome, he's gonna do the 55 later, so he's gonna be all saved up and ready. So on ours, he'll be nice and fresh. This predictor says Mark Tucker, but you've been doing a lot of racing. See, the sad part is I'm down there at 19th. That doesn't seem very legitimate at all. But I have a different role this last year of helping John and Mark Tucker, first place, Jerome, John, Kyle Glarum, Bart. I mean, this is a stacked field here. And I'm pretty excited. The fact, there's 35 in this. This is going to be between the two of them, 35 in the 35s, 23. Is that the right one? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Chris Reichert will win that one.
Yeah, close to 60. Chris Reichert, Paul Morris. Let's start with
Baby Masters.
Who do you have? Who do you have, Mark, on your team that's going to be able to help you?
You put me on the spot. I don't know how much support I will receive in this race. Richard is racing in it. He's racing in the 35 plus. He's really been training hard, race fit. He's been racing in Florida with me a little bit. We haven't really talked strategy. We probably isn't the right forum to talk about it, but
I think it's fine.
It's perfectly okay, right? Most of our guys are racing in the 3-4 stuff, so they're doing their own thing strategy wise. But I think it's going to add some interesting dynamics because Thirsty Bear, like Jerome's team, he's got some 35 guys in it, and so hey, do I want to go with that breakaway? Am I going to get a free ride because it's all 35s or vice versa? I don't know how it'll shake out, but it'll be fun.
Now, if you look at the pre-reg, you're correct. I mean, Thirsty Bear has 8 or 9 guys that'll be racing in that field, and then you, Mark, you have 6 on your registered. So it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. 35-45 split.
Now we can't help each other, right? I mean, we're race together, pick separately, and you can't assist each other. So
you got to work against each other.
Oh,
I don't think we're going to have different. We need to let the 45s through. We're not going to neutralize the 35s or vice versa.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all in mesh. They'll, except for the guys get spit out the back.
I was kidding. But so if you're new to racing, you're not going to be in this race.
You're probably not going to be on this channel.
Right. Wow. I don't know if that's good or bad. But did we see are there some SoCal people coming up?
Yeah. Sean Bagley's teammates are coming up. The Vogue cycling guys.
That's right.
Bart.
Yeah.
Trying to remember who all.
So does Sean kind of claim like Switzerland status in the whole NorCal SoCal thing, or plays both sides? Fair to
say, Sean swings both ways. So.
You heard it here. Jason Graffath joins in. Reichert and Mike's. That's what everyone is worried about. Who else is in Mike's on this in the 35? Let's take a look.
That Sam Benedict guy's okay.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah, he's kind of yeah.
We've had to deal with him. I mean, look, let's actually talk about this. So in the 35s, this is Paul Morris, Chris Reichert, Sam Bennett, Claudio Olson, Jeff Scott, Gable, Steph. So we have 2 of them in the top 10 there. But Peter Keller, I mean, there's a good assortment of people all over. I mean, Chris Reichert, it's always interesting when the P12 guys decide to do the 35. Sometimes they don't enjoy it as much, so they leave right away. But he'll be marked, I'm sure.
Yeah, they strike a little bit more fear than when us Masters guys jump into their P12 fields. I don't think they even flinch when we do that.
Oh, they might flinch with you. You had mentioned you were on the podcast earlier, and you said that you weren't good at crits. I understand this race predictor, Mark. All of a sudden, it's showing you up here at the top.
Yeah. I probably prove it wrong. we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so anybody want to venture out on predictions for these 35s and 45s? And how do you see the race playing out? Anybody, especially with this course? I don't know much about it. it seems wide open. So you're probably going to be able to look around any point on the course and see the lead out there, which sometimes is a little bit more deceptive, right? You're not as easy to get away.
Yeah, Mark, you've ridden this course. Is it more of is it lend itself to a breakaway, or is it going to?
Yeah, I got in a breakaway. You know, it was a 35-45 combined for Madera in last year, I guess. Scott Giles and I and one other guy, we got away from I mean, it wasn't a stacked field like this one, so I think it's a lot less likely to happen. But it's certainly possible. I think the course can lend itself to attacking at the right spot and getting away. So we'll see. But it's a longer course, so you're not going to lap the field as likely.
How is the course? Go ahead.
I say it seems like it's got enough technical components to it where you might be able to force a breakaway, but kind of looking at who's in the pre-reg, if you're in a breakaway and you don't have a Thirsty Bear rider with you, you probably assume it's getting pulled back. Right. Same with a few of the other teams that have big numbers. So if you're planning your strategy to be in a breakaway, you want to make sure you take at least one of those guys with you.
I would imagine so. And then everyone's jacked up, right? This is like first race. I mean, I already saw comments, Dave Callis was saying, Zimney sent me a screenshot where he's like, everyone's amped up to do this first race of the year. I'm going to get my popcorn out. Which means that you might not let anything go and it may just come down to a sprint, or everyone's jacked up and you get a big break going up there and it splits everything up. So I don't know that we can have any predictions. Thanks for the credit. That's what Graffath says. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns here, right? Obviously, because we don't have a whole year of racing with everybody and knowing where people are at, and then two, where are the fitness levels across the board, right? We may have a pretty wide gap between those that are fit and those aren't. So that's also going to play into the race dynamics as well. I mean, some guys might be having closet training or racing a ton already and super fit, or you might, kind of be in the Chris Flower boat where you're just barely pedaling a bike.
I could probably handle last place. I mean, if I came out and raced and got lapped 4 times, I'd count that as a win.
Someone get that guy finisher medal. So.
Right. Why don't we look at let's pander to some of our stable audience here, the 55 and the 65s as well. So it looks like some
fields too. I mean, the biggest thing that I took from looking at the pre-reg is, I mean, this is like you got some really big turnout here, and that's awesome to see. And I think that's a note to how excited people are to have somewhere to get out and race.
Yeah. I mean, once again, Jerome will be interesting. Like I said, John, we don't know who's flying except for Mark Tucker. That's the only one that we know for sure.
Right.
That's flying. Mark him out. That's what I'm telling my guys. If he's going, just go with him.
Griffith pointed out that Sayers will be there too. Yeah, I did see him on the start list, and he's always a contender. Definitely someone to watch.
The race predictor is definitely skewed. If you've been racing, you move up in the score. It's evidence when you look at the P1-2 field, you'll see some kind of anomalies. So.
No, but it makes sense. I mean, that's kind of the way it's not it's an algorithm. I mean, it's not. We'll see how it goes.
It's a merit-based algorithm. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. So Jerome, we don't know if he's been racing well, but I imagine you always expect that he does. Bart, all these guys once again in the 55s. Then the 55. What's this? Why is this? Oh, this is the 60s. So you're splitting those, racing them combined and splitting them up as far as.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know too much of that. I'm going to be moving up into that category at some point. Okay, so let's move here. Let's go to the big race, the one everyone's looking for, which is the P1-2. We have registered pre-reg 66. Robert Lander pulling in the bottom here on the race predictor. Bob, you can do better than that. I don't even know how to go through all this because Team Swift. So who is that rider? The Matthew Mara, is that a junior?
Yeah. So that's a junior. That might be maybe even a little more optimistic than race predictor putting me first in the Masters race.
You should screenshot it.
Yeah, he probably has already. It's probably on his Instagram. He's one of the local riders with Team Swift. He's a really good sprinter, but I don't think he's. Well, we'll see. I don't. Shout out to you, Matt, if you can make Race Predictor come true on that one. So
Well, they were just doing a race. I'm trying to remember where it was, and they had
Maverick Classic in Mesa, Colorado.
Okay,
I think.
okay. That's right. So they were So they were getting some results out there. So maybe that's an indication as to why.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a good sprinter.
Okay. Paul Morris, Skinner, Huntsman, and then 3 Williams, 2 brothers, one's Tyler, Bradley Wiggins. Oh, just Wiggs. Sorry, I thought Bradley was coming out. Chris Reichert's doubling up here. Linder, Benedict, Borstelman, Shank. I mean, this is Norcal stacked right now, going all the way down. And I know there's a lot of guys, the Masters guys, doubling up as they should. Shimizu down there for Mike's Bikes. We'll see if he gets in a break and if they make him work for him, because they never let him win. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, Legion's bringing a squad. And I don't think
this is
This is like USA Crits caliber, D1 stuff, I think.
Yeah,
is it too late for you guys to put together like a winner's jersey and really call this the California Crit Championship? I mean, that's basically what this is at this point, right?
Well, we kind of played on that a little bit with our awards medals. It's the state of California with the, and the first race back in California. We wanted to entice racers in the P12 fields with cash, and so we got some cash donations in order to make that happen. And we even put up a post, our team did, that if we can get either P12 field to sell out, that we'll put up an additional $1,000 in prize money. So right now there's $650 on the line for both the men's and the women's P12 fields, as well as $250 in preems for both. And so, like the women, there's 9 women in that race, and so the money payout is $100 per person is what it breaks out to. So if you know any women that want to race day of, I mean, it could be a pretty good payday. The men's, if we get enough, I think we're at 66. So if we get 9 more people to register, then we'll throw an extra $1,000 into and we're going to pay out to the top 3. So we tried.
Any chance that one of the Williams doesn't win this race? Anybody?
I don't know. That's full.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay. What did you say, John?
I was going to say that there's 4 Williams, so pretty good odds.
Right.
And another 4 more Legion people down in there between.
Who else do they have with between those 3? Sam Boardman. Oh, geez. Oh, yeah. So you send Sam Boardman off in a break, and if it doesn't get caught, then you go for the sprint. So
Legion's got 8, and then Mike's Bikes has 9 for the P12.
Right. This is exactly why I'm sitting on the sidelines for this one.
Yeah. It seems like if you're Mike, you probably want to try and force a break in that situation and play your hand there, as opposed to try and overpass the Legion train for 2 laps of just full throttle sprint action. I don't think anybody's going to be in a position to take them in a sprint. They're I think just are coming off their team camp, so they're probably pretty well tuned and ready to race, and they've been doing the lead out thing for a little while, so they're not going to be trying to figure it out on the fly in their first race back. So I think they're the team to beat if it comes to a sprint. Yeah, Mark Tucker, what's your strategy for this race?
Just see how long I can last.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, according to Race Predictor, I only have to finish 21st. I have to finish ahead of CJ Williams, which I guess if there's a Legion Williams to have to compete against, CJ's probably going to be your best bet. But I mean, I'm just going to try to race as conservatively as I can and stay in it and see what happens. So.
Right. Graffath comes out here and says, seems like it will be like San Rafael, fast, then faster, then faster. Yeah. Was it the last San Rafael we had with Tyler Williams up in the break and when you just joined Legion? Yeah. Shaking your head doesn't always work for audio.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of the name of the kid that won. He moved on to Ebolo, but they went 1-2, and Robbie Carpenter was in the break with them from Rally at the time. So it was a good break of, I think, 5 people.
Was Cooper Shanks up there? I'm trying to remember.
No.
It was a team California, and he got an accident.
Rumbold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were driving that pretty well. That was so it's not San Rafael, but that's really like the last big crit it seems like we've really had around here. Okay, any other predictions you want to make from here? I'm just going to go out and it's going to be Tyler Corey or Justin. I think it's going to stay together.
Well, I think Corey Lockwood I think is going to come too. He's riding solo he's with Cinch coaching now. And so I mean there are some guys, there's a lot of firepower. That's just to put it lightly. So
95 Tegs SC says Sean McRoy won. Yeah, okay. That's right.
Yeah, he was with Legion and moved to Avolo.
Right.
If he shows up to race, he might be a good person to force a breakaway because he knows what Legion can do and won't want to be in a sprint against them. So it's going to be a tough race.
He's a motor.
Oh, he's got like a 440 watt 20-minute power or something. So he should do all right.
Graffath just said, dude, predicting 29 mile an hour average for the winner. Yeah, I would imagine.
I'll bet.
What about for the loser, Jason? What's the loser going to average?
Well,
two laps.
How many laps?
I looked at the weather forecast for tomorrow, and it looks like it's actually going to be a headwind finish, so that could make it interesting too. It's like a 10-ish mile an hour wind for the finishing straight, which is will make timing your sprint pretty important there.
Yeah, probably the wind will probably be picking up throughout the day too, right?
Yeah, probably so. So John, what's your goal tomorrow, or should we just keep this off the line?
Hey, come on, we can't tell everybody what we're.
Right.
Honestly, I just like to make it on time to the race,
okay.
And not forget anything. We'll do that.
Jason calls you out, Chris. He says the loser is the guy who's staying home.
You're gonna have a lot of speed, though. I'll tell you what.
Oh, okay. Any last comments about this race? First of all, it's wide open, right? I mean, the it's not a narrow road; it's a fairly wide road, so we're going to be able to go toe to toe and move up easy. Is it more like Land Park in a way? Have you done that?
Haven't done it.
Okay. So I can't make that prediction. Anybody want to join in with the prediction there? Okay. So any last things about the race tomorrow? Any other comments you want to make before we head out here?
None for
I
me.
would just say it's awesome that you guys took the motivation to put this together. Tyler and I haven't put on a race. John has and knows the headaches associated with it. So voluntarily taking that on is awesome on your part.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we
One
appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one last thing. We are going to have a second race on May 8th. I put a save the date out. It's going to be a circuit race, Ventana Hills, which was part of the off the front stage race a few years ago here in the Fresno Clovis area in the foothills. That's going to be a really first class event because we have Granville Homes as a corporate sponsor. COVID restrictions will have lessened by then, and we're going to make it as much of a fun atmosphere, food trucks, etc. But expect this caliber of racing for that on May 8th. So stay tuned there.
Right. So I hope everyone stays safe. I know everyone's going to be jacked up for this. So, let's keep it so we go to work on Monday or at least enjoy Easter on Sunday. And once again, Velo Kings, really appreciate it. Chris, we will miss you out there, but maybe I'll text you how it is. John, you're going to pick me up in the morning, right?
I'll see you bright and early. Yeah.
All right. So we'll be out there and hopefully the registration won't be a problem. Got another comment in here. Melissa Avery says, thanks for making space for the juniors. Yes, that's one, we've talked about that before. It's nothing more imperative than trying to get these kids into this sport so that they at least can help grow it. And thanks for doing that.
You're welcome.
All right. Anybody want to any last comments before we head out?
See you on the podium, John.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to, you guys need a Friday drink or something? Yeah. See you on the podium. I'll take some pictures.
Yeah.
All right. That's predictions. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Awesome,
Vela
guys.
Kings, check out velakings.com if you still need info for the flyer. Are you going to email people out some last minute COVID instructions?
Yeah, Bike Reg email will go out this afternoon if it hasn't already. But all the resources are also on our website. You mentioned velakings.com.
Okay, and Richard Gable, he's the race director. Appreciate him. I guess if you have license questions, come see you guys at the tent or the registration. Sanitize and get in line behind Data Driven Athlete because we're going to sweep the podiums tomorrow. Probably not. All right, everybody. Thank you. This has been another episode of Between Two Wheels podcast. We're going to try to get some interviews and stuff out there at the race. Take care of everybody. And I don't know, keep the rubber side down and be safe. Thanks, everybody.
Cool.